In this lesson, we'll be looking at the last type of determiner, which are quantifiers. Let's review what we've learned so far. There are 4 types of determiner. There are the articles, which are a, an, and the, which show if a noun is general or specific, as in, I need a new car. I like the car that my sister bought. So a shows any car in general will be fine. But when I say the car that my sister bought, I'm talking about a specific car. After that, we learned about possessive determiners, which include my, your, his, her, its, our, and their. So another way I could say the sentence about the car is, I like her car. And when I say her car, I mean my sister's car. So possessives show who the owner of the noun is. Then we learned about demonstratives, which show if a noun is near or far from the speaker. And the demonstratives are this, that, these, those, as in, this car that I have now is broken. And then this lesson is going to be about quantifiers. And some quantifiers, examples of those are some, much, many, two, and many more. And again, keep in mind, singular count nouns must have a determiner. Quantifiers show the amount of a noun. And so an example is, I might say to you, do you have one cat or do you have many cats? If I can't remember the number of cats that you have, the quantity. So quantifiers clarify the amount of a noun. And the important thing to remember with quantifiers, the confusing thing, is that you have to match your quantifier with the type of noun you are describing. So for example, if you need a quantifier for a singular count noun, you might use something like each, as in the teacher talked to each student one by one. Or you might use the quantifier every, as in every student wants to do well at school. So you'll see we're talking about a singular count noun in each instance. Each shows that we're looking at the singular count noun one by one, each student one by one. Every shows that we're looking at the singular count nouns as part of a group. So we're saying all of them. You could also say all the students want to do well at school. So in one, we're looking at them individually. In the other, we're considering them as parts of a whole. If your noun is a plural count noun, then you might need to use the quantifier few, as in few students do well without studying often. So that means a small number. Many shows a large number for plural count nouns, as in many students studied online during the pandemic. However, if you have a non-count noun, you have to use different quantifiers to show the same idea of a small amount or a large amount. So for a small amount, you would say little. The students' grades showed little improvement. So improvement is a non-count noun here, and to show a small amount, we use the quantifier little. Much is a way to show a large amount with a non-count noun, as in the student did not do much homework, so she did not do well in the class. So here we're using it as a negative, which is very common with much, but what we mean is the student did not do a large quantity, a large amount of homework. So she did not do well in the class. Then there are the quantifiers that you can use with both plural and non-count nouns. So those ones are really useful. Make sure you memorize those because they'll come in handy. So some we can use with both plural and non-count nouns, as in some questions were challenging, so they took some time to answer. Questions is a plural noun and time is a non-count noun, and it just means some quantity in between 0 and 100%. And then a lot of means a large quantity. So you have to read a lot of books to gain a lot of knowledge. So books is a plural noun and knowledge is a non-count noun, and we can use the quantifier a lot of to describe a large quantity of either of those. So these are just a few of the quantifiers. There are a lot of them. I focused on these ones because these are the ones that students often make mistakes with, and they're also really useful ones that we use often. Regarding a lot of, the quantifier a lot of is very informal. It's fine to use it in daily conversation, but if you're writing more academic papers, more academic writing, then instead for plural count nouns, it would be better for you to use a large number of, as in he has a large number of cars, instead of he has a lot of cars. A lot of cars is very informal. He has a large number of cars is more academic. So remember number as in 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the count nouns, which you can count, 1, 2, 3, 4, you use a large number of cars. If you have a non-count noun and you want to express this idea of a lot of, then instead you could say a large amount of. He has a large amount of money. So money is a non-count noun. So you can't say, I have 3 monies, right? We can't make it plural or 1 money, 2 monies, 3 monies. You can count dollars. That's a count noun. But money is a non-count noun. And so when you have non-count nouns and you want to show a large quantity, you would say large amount of, a large amount of. Okay, another area of confusion is a little and a few. So we already talked about little and few, and we use those quantifiers when there is not enough of the noun and more would be better. As in, she has little time to spare these days, so she can't go to any parties. Or there are few evenings when she has no homework to do. So we're using little with the non-count noun and few with the plural noun. And so, yeah, she's a busy student. She wishes she had more time, more evenings without homework. And so more would be better. There's not enough. That's why we're using little or few. But if we want to show that there is a small amount, but it's enough, then we use a little and a few. She will have a little time when her exams are finished, so she will go to a party then. She has a few different parties to choose from. So here we're saying she doesn't have a lot of time coming up, but it's going to be enough to have some fun. So that's the difference between little and few and a few, is that when there's not enough, you use little or few. When there is a small amount, but just enough, you use a little and a few. And again, little with non-count and few with plural. All right, so let's practice. Many and much mean a large quantity. And these are the quantifiers that students most often use incorrectly. So use many with plural count nouns and use much with non-count nouns. And watch out for the S at the end of words, because that often shows that the word is plural. So I do not have blank time. What kind of noun is time? Is it a plural count noun or a non-count noun? I hope you said non-count noun, in which case our quantifier should be much. I do not have much time. Number 2, the teacher explained the answer blank times. So see, there's an S on that noun, so that means we need to use many. It's a plural count noun. The teacher explained the answer many times. Number 3, he does not have blank experience in this type of job. So there's no S on experience, right? We're talking about experience in general. So it's a non-count noun, so we need to use much. He does not have much experience in this type of job. Number 4, she did not get blank sleep last night. So we're talking about sleep in general. This is not a count noun, it's non-count, so we would say she did not get much sleep last night. Number 5, he does not have blank friends. There's an S there, so we need many. He does not have many friends. Number 6, this website does not have blank information. What kind of noun is information? It's a non-count noun, so we need much. And notice how a lot of these sentences have not. When we're using much, we often use it in negative sentences. Number 7, there is not blank homework today. Another negative with much, a non-count noun, homework. All right, number 8, he has blank papers on his desk, plural, so we need many. Number 9, there is not blank paper in the printer. So this is not plural because we're talking about paper in general. And so we're not talking about the individual pieces of paper. So we would use much. There is not much paper in the printer. Number 10, he drank 2 blank cups of coffee. So we've got a plural count noun there, cups. So we need to use many. He drank too many cups of coffee. Number 11, he drank 2 blank coffee. Here we're talking about coffee in general. It's a non-count noun. He drank too much coffee. 12, he doesn't have blank hair on the top of his head. So this is not hairs, not individual strands of hair. It's hair in general. So he doesn't have much hair on the top of his head. 13, the lesson was not blank help. It's not plural. It's a non-count noun. The lesson was not much help. And last one, there are 2 blank people at this party. Okay, watch out. What kind of noun is people? Is it non-count or count? Well, it's a plural count noun. This is one of those exceptions that doesn't have an S, but it's still a plural count noun, so we need many. There are too many people at this party. Okay, now let's turn to few and little. These are also quantifiers that students often make mistakes with. So you need to use few or fewer if it's a comparative sentence with plural count nouns. And you need to use little or less if it's a comparative sentence with non-count nouns. So again, watch out for the letter S, because that's going to let you know when you're looking at a plural count noun. And watch out for the adverb than, because that lets you know that it's a comparative sentence where you're comparing 2 things. And that's when you need to use those comparative quantifiers, fewer and less. Okay, let's give it a try. Number 1, blank people get enough sleep. So people, remember that's a plural noun, so we need to have few. Few people get enough sleep. Number 2, he has blank advice to offer on the topic. Advice, what kind of noun is it? It's non-count, so we need little. He has little advice to offer on the topic. Number 3, she showed blank interest in the boring movie. So what kind of a noun is interest? It's a non-count noun. She showed little interest in the boring movie. Number 4, he has blank friends than his brother. So this is a comparative sentence where we're comparing the two brothers, and then the noun that needs a quantifier is friends. That's a plural noun, right? Okay, and it's in a comparative sentence, so we need to say he has fewer friends than his brother, because it's a plural count noun in a comparative sentence. Number 5, she pays blank attention to her appearance. So what kind of noun is attention? It's a non-count noun, so we need little. She pays little attention to her appearance. So that means not a lot, not a big quantity of attention. Number 6, he has blank money than his brother. We're comparing the brothers again. Comparing two things, it's a comparative sentence. The noun that we need to quantify is money, and that's a non-count noun, so we need less. He has less money than his brother. That's a comparative quantifier. Number 7, they have blank hope of finishing on time. So hope, what kind of noun is it? It's non-count, so we need little. They have little hope of finishing on time. Number 8, he has blank papers on his desk than his wife has on hers. So again, we're comparing the husband and the wife. It's a comparative sentence. And the noun that we need to quantify is papers. So it's plural. So we need, he has fewer papers on his desk than his wife has on hers. Number 9, wind energy creates blank pollution than fossil fuel. So we've got another comparative there. We're comparing two energy sources, wind energy and fossil fuel. So that means when we're quantifying the noun, it needs to be comparative. So what we need in there is less. Wind energy creates less pollution than fossil fuel. Pollution is a non-count noun. Number 10, he drank 2 blank cups of coffee, so now he is sleepy. So cups is plural, so we need few. He drank 2 few cups of coffee. Number 11, he drinks blank coffee now than when he was young. So we're comparing when he was young with the time now, 2 different time periods. It's comparative. The noun that we need to quantify is non-count, so we're using less. He drinks less coffee now than when he was young. Number 12, there were blank vegetarian options at that restaurant. So options is our plural noun there, so we need few. There were few vegetarian options at the restaurant. Number 13, he shows blank wisdom in his choice of friends. Wisdom is non-count, so we need little. He shows little wisdom in his choice of friends. And last one, the students put blank effort into their homework. Effort is a non-count noun, so we're going to use the quantifier little. The students put little effort into their homework. So let's summarize what we've learned so far. We have learned that quantifiers show the amount of a noun, as in, do you want 2 jelly beans or many jelly beans? Many quantifiers need to agree with the noun type. Is the noun type singular, or is it a plural count noun or a non-count noun? That's going to change the quantifier that you use a lot of the time. As in, you will have few opportunities in life if you put in little effort. So few is for plural count nouns and little is for non-count nouns when you want to show a small amount. And many people don't get much sleep when they have a newborn baby. Many is for plural count nouns when you want to show a large quantity. And much is for non-count nouns when you want to show a large quantity. We can use some quantifiers with both plural nouns and non-count nouns, as in, he received a lot of answers, but not a lot of the information was helpful. Answers is plural, information is non-count. But to make a lot of more academic, we can use number for count nouns and amount for non-count nouns, as in, a large number of people responded to the survey, but a large amount of the data was not helpful. People is a plural count noun, and data is a non-count noun. So I will admit that quantifiers are not easy to use, and I only touched on a few of them here. However, a lot of native speakers use incorrect quantifiers. So this is an area where you can really show how clever you are if you learn to use them correctly.